here's the illuminate tour wagon. You may notice that the hood is up. There's a reason for that. Let's take a look under the tire. So here we are stranded in Othello, Washington, at a Bob's Corner Conoco. We lost brake fluid, pulled into the station, got gas, had brakes when I pulled in. When we went to leave, I put the brakes to the floor and I didn't have any brakes. So we pulled over, discovered that we had the leak under there, figured out it was from the inside of the tire, not from the upper areas. And let's talk about why we're here. About 3 months ago, I took the van to Les Schwab to get the brakes fixed. I had an ABS problem. I thought they could just replace some sensors. They told me that they couldn't replace the sensors, that it was above their head, so I had to take it to, they suggested take it to Ford. So I took it to Ford. And before I took it to Ford, Les Schwab was good enough and thorough enough to tell me that the brake line was rubbing against the tire and I needed to get that fixed. So when I took it to Ford, I mentioned that. I said, can you look at that? I need to get that fixed. Les Schwab said, and I quoted Les Schwab, sure, we'll look at that. So they take the van, they deliver the van. I go home. I think it's the next day or maybe that afternoon, I get a call from Ford saying that that it's $3,000 to fix the ABS brakes. So I say, for $3,000, I'm just not going to have ABS brakes. Screw that. And so, okay, but also your brake pads are not the correct size. So we recommend, fixing that. So I said, well, hell. The guy that put the brake pads in was a mechanic, used to work at the very dealer I was talking to. He then worked for a Dodge dealer. So I find it a little hard to believe that the wrong brake pads were installed in it. He wouldn't notice it, but that's what they say. So just to be on the safe side and get it over with, I told Ford, just go ahead and replace the brakes. No mention of the brake line rubbing. Of course, I thought that was taken care of with something minor. So apparently not, because here we are, stranded in Othello at Conoco, and we are waiting for a mechanic to come as Riley's friend, because coincidentally, none of the mobile mechanics are answering their phones out here. It's just completely freaking ridiculous that you just can't get any service. We almost had to stay the night. The lady that worked here at the Conoco offered to take us to a motel down the road, which we considered, but we really want to get home. So Riley's friend should be here in about maybe about 50 minutes, 45 minutes. And the plan is to clamp off the broken line and then zip tie it in place. So what we're going to have is we'll stop leaking fluid that way. And we got plenty of fluid. We bought some for this place closed. And currently, since we did fill up the fluid, I can push the brake, and I do have brakes. But I think if we drive on it, we're going to lose brakes, and there's several grades on the way home. We're about 2.5 hours from home, from Lewiston. And so the plan is that the mechanic's going to, because we don't have what you need is a Vise Grip. We don't have one. And so he's going to deliver us one, and he's going to rig it up for us. He's going to Gerry rig it so we can limp home. We're going to have to drive slow, test the brakes, make sure we got them. The other 3 wheels will and should have brakes. Now, if they go out, we're going to have to shift down to 1 and 2 gears and then pull off the side of the road. So that's the plan. So hopefully we make it out alive.